Our group trip to Vietnam is now live. Y'all, I'm so excited. I am looking forward to this trip. We are going to be stopping first in Hanoi, then we're going to be trekking down to Ninh Binh, and then we're going to do a 2 day luxury cruise in Halong Bay. Now, the visuals here do not even come close to capturing the experience that we are about to have. I have been looking at everything on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And y'all, this is going to be the trip of the year. Now, what you need to do right now is click the link in the description of this video. Listen, make your deposit. We have flexible payment plans. We have a few more early bird spots left. Go ahead and get those because you can get $200 off. And listen, register today. Don't delay. Let's go to Vietnam and have the time of our lives. But first, we got to get into the breaking tea. What in the world? Dr. Wendy and Eddie Osefo, what in the world? Y'all, let's get into this tea. Y'all. Surreal, what?
Happy Friday.
Can I just... I got to give y'all some backstory. Real quick. Taria and I were originally going to get together today because we wanted to talk about the Real Housewives of Miami. And it had been a minute since we had done anything together, but we, were always like texting about different things. And I was like, you know what, why don't we talk about that? So I'm going live to talk about my trip, going live. I was on Instagram and everybody's like, trip, what trip? 911. And so me and Taria start texting. We're like, what is going on?
Yes.
So let's talk about what we've seen online. And then, Taria, you have some extra tea that you guys, listen, you might not know, okay? But I thought that this visual was apropos, okay? Because that's how I'm feeling right now.
Me too. Listen, I have said it. I've maintained it. Richie is a real friend. We talk about stuff outside of this. I know I've said it before. I butt dialed Richie, but FaceTime, he picked up every time I butt dialed him 3 or 4 times. My actual butt literally did it, y'all. I was sitting on my phone. And when Richie calls, I answer as well. And I left him a voice note and said, Richie! I was screaming. And y'all, I forgot I was doing a voice note. I thought I was doing a speak to text. So I said, Richie! Exclamation mark. Oh, wait, let's get into it. So next thing I know, I'm in the house. My phone is ringing, and we are both. Our flabbers are gasted, and gasteds are flabbered. Like, of all the people, of all the things,
of all people,
I was like, and then you look at the mugshot, you're like, is Eddie high? I mean, because it kind of gave a little like.
I mean, so let's take a look.
I looked at Eddie and immediately thought, I'm going to tell my age. What's the old song? What you gonna do when the L is gone? Should we just roll some more until we smoke some more?
Listen, this is for the 40 crowd, okay? The 40 crowd.
And I do have to give them props. Listen, out of everything we're about to talk about, skin, Dr. Wendy, beautiful mugshot, beautiful gowns.
I can't tell if the grin is like, hey y'all, or is it diabolical?
Yes.
It's a toss between the two.
Yeah.
If you're going to be arrested, y'all, the mugshot is probably the most crucial piece of your puzzle, because this is the thing that's going to make its round. So at least serve face.
Yes. And she's not giving Thomas Jefferson concubine. She's giving, I'm a mob wife.
Oh, Lord. And first of all, let me just say this. Not Dr. Wendy. I feel like you and I were talking about this, how we both feel about Dr. Wendy is like, she is just the epitome of like poise and grace. And, even she does not come out of character. There's not a lot of times when you've seen Dr. Wendy yelling.
Yeah. And I know that people have their feelings about her, and, different people that have had experiences with her are not always positive, but she's someone, you've ever seen those people on TV where, like there's something that, like, I want you to win so bad in all of it. Like, I want you to win because the ingredients are there. You could be a dope role model for people, especially for people that look like us. So I want them to win. And Dr. Wendy is one that I just want to win so bad. Like, whether it's, how she comes across on TV or being in real life, just I want her to win and to really be about what she talks about and what she gives off community. Yeah. And it's just that I really want her to be about that. So when I saw this, I immediately thought, and this is not necessarily biased, but I looked at Dr. Wendy and Eddie and thought, oh, maybe it's a tax type situation. That's what I immediately thought. Like, oh, it's probably a tax thing. We know how this goes with these housewives.
Yeah.
And then the internet said, hold on, Terry, it might be a little something different. And I said, what might it be? And the Reddit streets, some streets are saying that it could be insurance fraud. So if y'all remember, back in April of 2024, Wendy and Eddie were on vacation in Jamaica, beautiful pictures, all of that stuff. And she said her home had been broken into. That was April of 2024. So when I went to the Maryland Judicial Case Search to search up, excuse me, this particular case, and it lists all 16 offenses, and they all say fraud, misdemeanor, and they all say plus $300. So I'm wondering if that's $300 for each one, 16, or is it just the charge? And it says they're all in April of 2024, the beginning of April of 2024, and a couple the beginning of May 2024. So I'm wondering if, in fact, it was insurance fraud, because she said that Birkins and jewelry were stolen out of her house, and the timelines kind of match up.
So from my research, from my source, I hear that the bond is set at $50,000.
Correct. I saw that on the site. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And here is what I got from my source as well. The difference in why she has 7 felonies is because some of them are court. Some of them are ones that she made in court. So they may be false statements that were made on like court documents, potentially, allegedly. That is from my source. And that is an explanation of what these could potentially be.
So that would mean, would that be like, I guess maybe like lying in court, like lying under oath, or could that be like lying to an officer?
Well, so let's take a look at it. Let's connect the dots real quick. For those of you guys who may have just tapped in, we're talking about Dr. Wendy and her husband, Eddie Osefo, and these fraud charges, right? So according to documents obtained by TMZ, I'm just going to read it verbatim here, and then we're going to go back to what Taria said, and we're going to kind of put it all together. According to documents obtained by TMZ, the Real House. All right, stand by, y'all. Okay, cool. So she's facing 16 charges, including 7 felonies for allegedly making false, misleading info, fraud in excess of $300. Now, again, the $300 is what I'm hearing, the threshold.
Yes.
For it to be considered what it is, right? Mm-hmm. So the amount could be well above $300. We just know that it has to be above 300 in order for it to meet the threshold that is listed here, from my understanding. Okay. And she's also facing 1 misdemeanor count of making a false statement to an officer, which goes back to what you also had just said. I want you to reiterate what you also got from your research, because You slid that in so smoothly. You slid it in so smooth, girl. I was like, if I had been reading the paper, it would have been hundreds across the board, okay? For the flow of it all. But yeah, can you give us that information again? Because I do feel like some people may have missed the particulars of it.
Okay.
Because there's so much to take in.
Yeah. So when we were saying like the 7 felonies, making false statements, and then fraud in excess of 300. When I went to the Maryland case judiciary search, it listed all 16, and it listed the dates of the offenses. Most were the beginning of April 2024, a couple in the middle of April, and then a couple the beginning of May 2024. Remember, she went to Jamaica April of 2024 and said that while she was in Jamaica, her house was robbed, and that they took Birkins and they took Wendy's jewelry. So when you look at the date of so she goes to Jamaica, comes back, and I even looked at the article that was put out when she was robbed, April 2024. So now you come back and what the timeline to me is adding up. If she's accused of making false statements and fraud, the threshold is 300, which means to me, if it's a false statement and it has a dollar amount attached to it for fraud, so you lied about maybe something missing or something being stolen. To me, because why else would it have the fraud attached to it? There has to be something to fraud. So if you go to Maryland Judicial Case Search, all 16 are listed, and all of them say plus 300 for fraud. So I'm believing that the two are linked, that she may have falsified the items that were stolen from her home and it's now insurance fraud. Because the timelines are timelining.
Lisa She Ready says the documents indicate the couple had claimed a $450,000 personal property fraud to an insurance company.
Boom, there you go.
So I'm assuming that's the loss amount.
Yep.
Okay. And so from what I'm hearing from my source, I'm getting an update right now as we speak.
Ooh, okay.
That the next hearing for Eddie is November 7th.
Oh, yep.
That he got 18 charges. Now, my source, let me tell you something. If my source is probably if you talking about something legal, if you talking about something
that's the person
official,
to go to. Yeah.
If you're talking about something that's got to do with anything dealing with some records,
it's her.
This person, yeah, I'm going to say this person is the captain of the ship.
So Wendy's and Eddie's must be on the same day. I text a friend of mine and I said, this is it. Look, I said the next hearing on council is November 7th, 2025 at 8:45 a.m.
Wait, say that again. I was getting another update.
Oh, so I was saying maybe hers is the same as Eddie's because I looked up Wendy's. So you got Eddie's date. What date did you say Eddie's was? November what?
7th.
Okay, because Wendy's is next hearing November 7th, 2025 at 8:45 a.m.
Got it. And so then I got that bond was posted today for Eddie. Warrants issued and served yesterday.
Yep. Yep. I saw that too. Yep.
Okay, like so they was in the same. We.
Yep.
Well, so let's take a beat. Okay, let's take a beat and take all this in.
I feel like we need to do a Whitney Rose. I need to cleanse.
Okay, so I want to make some. I have questions that I don't know if you have answers to or anybody else has answers to.
Yeah, same.
But okay, if you have a burglary or if you have something happen to your home and you make an insurance claim, how does the insurance claim know what you actually had missing or not? How does somebody prove that what you said was missing is not really missing in that amount, right? 450,000, that is a lot of stuff.
Yeah. If you're saying Birkins and jewelry, I think.
So if you're saying Birkins, yeah. So Birkins,
yeah.
How many Birkins did you have?
She said they took a couple, if I'm not mistaken, like more than one. And I think sometimes smart people think that they've watched enough CSI, watched enough New York Undercover to be smarter than these investigators that they have for these companies.
Well, so let's talk about that then. And I'm just gonna give y'all some tea in case you don't know. All right. Some of y'all may notice, and some of y'all might not. Okay, so I would assume that if you buy a Birkin, you are buying from an authorized retailer, because a Birkin is not like, you honestly, you can't just get a Birkin. You can't just walk to the store and get a Birkin.
Nope.
You can get it from an authorized reseller if it's a real Birkin.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that caveat. I may not know a lot about a lot, all right, but I do know a little bit about the fashion. When you buy a Birkin, again, and so usually there is a record of that and of ownership, especially of who you bought it through, where you bought it from, especially if you bought it from Hermes, right? They would have a record of that in their database, because high-end stores like that keep a record of your personal transactions, because they need to know who else to sell to, right?
Yes.
Listen, hey, babe, we got something new in stock. Do you want to see it? They're going to keep a record of that because it's such a high value transaction. Okay. So there would likely, and I'm just making an assumption here, we're just having shop talk. There should be a record of how many Birkins you have purchased.
Yes, because you have to be invited.
Yeah.
To purchase.
Somebody says TMZ got an update. Hold on, stand by. Let me see if they updated their original thing. Stand by, y'all.
Y'all in the chat while Richie's doing that, I'm wondering, did y'all think Wendy, because bail's normally 10%, right? So they only probably had to pay like $5,000, I was thinking, to get out, since the bail was $50,000. They probably only had to do 10%. I'm thinking 5,000.
Oh my God.
I'm got to fall it. No, I can't. Okay, I'm ready.
Let's get into it.
I got to use the bathroom. Oh my God, I'm ready. I feel like it's me.
Stand by. Okay, this is what we're going to. Okay, so the update is the couple claimed that they found their bedroom ransacked in April of last year.
Okay.
As you stated, returning from a trip to Jamaica. We told you about that incident at the time, so apparently TMZ reported on it as well. According to the prosecution's bail recommendation documents obtained by TMZ, the couple reportedly told police several designer bags and jewelry had been stolen. But get this, Carroll County Sheriff's deputies allege Wendy was later seen in a social media post wearing a diamond ring that she reported stolen.
See, you think you're smarter than the people. That's what I'm like. You think you are not bigger than the program. You think you're smarter than the play. That's what these people are hired to do these things for a reason.
Not you wearing the jewelry you reported stolen.
In a social media post.
In a social media post, y'all.
You didn't think that they'd be looking at pictures and stuff like that?
Especially if you are reporting, again, these high value jewelry items missing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's why it's probably best when you have those high value items, you need to keep those in a safe deposit box. You need to keep those items in some type of secured storage facility, wherein if somebody comes and robs your home, they're not getting your $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 items. They're not getting those items.
Right.
Because those items are not at your home. You go and you pick those items up when you need to wear them. When you want to go out, you have a fancy event, that's when you pick them up. And furthermore, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. oftentimes you will see cubic zirconium that shines a bit brighter than actual diamonds on red carpets and in photos.
Yes.
I'm just going to be real with you. You can find that costume jewelry for events works.
I've heard people that have long money say, I actually have duplicates of my real stuff. So they have like and to go a step further, let's just say you're a person that's not on TV, you have money, you've come into some long money, so you have these items in your home. You would even think to get a safe or keep them somewhere not out. But Wendy and Eddie know they're on TV, which
Exactly.
even further, and you know they stay on social media. You have to know that people know the area that you live in. It's all public information. So why wouldn't you then safeguard yourself? Take extra precautionary steps to even safeguard yourself some more. You know, it's just, I can't believe she was wearing it in the photo.
And somebody made a good comment that I do want to highlight, in that maybe she was wearing a duplicate in the photos. But I guess my problem is, it would seem as though that would be ruled out by these experts, I would assume, right?
Right.
If they're going to bring you in for charges, if they're this serious, there's got to be a bit more than just a social. And I'm going to get into that. Additionally, an investigation determined numerous items the Osefos claimed were stolen had been purchased, then returned to the store, where a full refund was provided prior to the alleged burglary. The documents indicate the couple had claimed a $450,000 personal property loss to an insurance company. Wait, I got to read that again. An investigation determined numerous items the Osefos claimed were stolen had been purchased, then returned to the store, where a full refund was provided prior to the alleged burglary.
She did that to have receipts. So I have a receipt that I purchased it, because oftentimes they'll give you a receipt of return. So she had the receipt for purchase.
But girl, listen, but did you? Okay,
yes.
So now when I listen to what you just said, do you know what that makes me think?
This was all planned.
Let me put the alleged badge up here.
Allegedly.
Everything in your life is alleged, okay?
What you said it before, even your name.
even you watching this it's alleged, okay?
It's alleged I'm sitting in my house.
Okay, it's alleged that I'm sitting in mine. I don't even have on glasses. This is alleged. I don't know. It's alleged that I can really see, but okay. So that's what, as soon as you said that, that's what it made me think. Okay, so if you bought these items to have the receipts to later then show, the next thing that I would have to wonder is, well, how smart is that? Because if you got a refund, then the store's gonna have a record of that. But you got a receipt, but so does the store.
But I'm thinking this is where people think they're smarter than the average investigator that's been doing this for 20 years. They're probably thinking, I have all the paperwork showing I bought it. Why then would they go to the store? Why then, in their mind, in their minds, they're not investigators. They don't know, as smart as they are and however many degrees they have, they're probably thinking, I have a proof of purchase. So why would an investigator need to go to the store? Here's my proof right here. In their minds. Now, the investigators, of course, may still probably go to the store. But I'm telling you, I'm going to be honest, in my mind, I wouldn't think, if I have proof of purchase, that an investigator may go to the store. I wouldn't think that far ahead. Which is why I don't do stuff like this. But I'm just...
But when you almost have to, like, because here's my thing. Please tell y'all, did somebody tell you to do this? Did somebody say, y'all know what you should do? Here is the play.
Or have they done it before? Like, because to say $450,000 is a lot of money. That's almost $500,000.
It is. That is a lot. And then why? I
And then
mean, when I look at the timing of it, when did he come out with the business?
2023, I believe. The last BravoCon was 2023. He had it then. That was in November. So it was the beginning of the year with all that other stuff going on. So it had to be 2023, I think. But do you realize how they tried to come up off on $1 million? They bought almost $500,000 worth of stuff. If it equaled that, let's say they bought all that stuff that came to $450,000, returned it all, got that back, and then filed a claim for the same amount. Like they were like almost gambling with their money in a sense, but like.
But then why? Why? What? That $450,000? That's a lot of money to be very kind of specific about that in and of itself. I mean, please tell me there were like some. What was the money for? What did you need it for? If you did this, I would have to assume you needed it for something. No,
I wonder. Eddie was a attorney. Wendy is a doctor. They probably were making pretty good money, right? But you have to look at it relative to the lifestyle that they live, where they live, housing costs, children, school, education. Those dollars go out the door fast. Okay. Then you come on a show, and for 3 seasons, you may be making $10,000 an episode, but you're paying for outfits, you're paying for looks, you're paying for this, you're paying for that. And it wouldn't surprise me if they were actually in debt. Because I've heard housewives say in the beginning of coming on the show, it actually set them back.
I've heard the same thing.
Yeah. So they could have already been in debt. I remember when Eddie, when she first came on, which, hello, student debt, like my kids have student debt. I had student debt before. So there were reports. Yeah. There were reports of them both having student debt. Right. So the appearance looks good. You have the doctor, the lawyer, the beautiful house, the this, the that, but you don't know where people's money is going. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking maybe they were in debt, and just maybe wanted to and with Eddie's business and Wendy's candle line, and then paying how much did for that studio. She asked a couple seasons ago. She asked Eddie for a $50,000 check for her candle line. So I'm thinking they were in debt, maybe, possibly, for them to do something this drastic. Like, I don't know.
I'm going to read you what Us Weekly said really quickly, because I saw somebody said something about Us Weekly said that they were in debt, but I didn't see that. But I didn't see that. So when I'm looking on here, it does say that, okay, back to the arrest. The couple's arrest came after Carroll County's sheriff's office responded to a call of a reported burglary at their home in April 2024. Wendy and Eddie claimed that they had gone on a trip to Jamaica and came back to find their bedroom and closets ransacked, as well as several designer handbags and jewelry stolen. There was a screen. This is a quote. There was a screen with damage laying on the roof, and the window was not locked. To go in or out of that window, one has to step on the toilet. The toilet lid was down and had no debris on it. When sheriff's office personnel stepped onto the roof and back into the home, they tracked roof grit back inside, the docs read. And then the docs continued. The Osefos had an ADT system and a Ring camera. The Osefos activated the ADT alarm system upon leaving for vacation. During the time they were away, there was no motion detected inside the residence. There was activity such as package deliveries on the Ring camera that was monitored remotely by the Osefos. Eddie gave statements to 2 insurance companies regarding a list of stolen items. He was asked whether any of the items on the list had been returned, which he denied. There's one point. He was asked if he had other insurance but failed to disclose to Homesite and Jewelers that he was also making a claim with Travelers Insurance.
So he's made more than one claim.
Yeah, that's what, based on this from Us Weekly, that's what it sounds like. All right. Eddie and Wendy both signed statements claiming $2,500, so $2,500 for the building and $450,000 in property. In his original claim submitted to Travelers on April 8th, Eddie stated that he and his wife were wearing their anniversary bands when the loss occurred. However, Eddie called Travelers 2 days later and said he needed to update their claim because his wife's gold diamond anniversary band was missing. That same day, Travelers Insurance settled the claim for $25,000, which included the replacement price of the van, which was $4,500. Deputies were suspicious of the circumstances surrounding the burglary, and it was later revealed that the Osefos were burdened by substantial debt. And there you have it.
So it would make sense why, I told you when I looked at those charges, the offense date were different dates in April. April 8th, April 24th, May 9th, May 21st. So that could have been different calls oh my gosh.
I think we just figured it out, y'all.
Yep, April 8th. You just read something. You said something happened April 8th, and then 2 days later he called Travelers. An offense was done on April 8th. An offense was done on April 10th.
Yep. And I'm gonna read it again just for those who missed it, because it was a lot to digest. In his original claim submitted to Travelers, which I'm assuming is a company, insurance company.
That's who I have for my homeowners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. On April 8th, 2024, Eddie stated that he and his wife were wearing their anniversary bands when the loss occurred. However, Eddie called Travelers 2 days later and said that he needed to update that claim because his wife's gold diamond anniversary band was missing. But this is the same band he said that they were both wearing, right? Then it says the same day, Travelers Insurance settled that claim for $25,000, which included the replacement price of the band, which was $4,500. And then it says deputies were suspicious of the circumstances surrounding the burglary, and it was later revealed that the Osefos were burdened by substantial debt. So now it makes a bit more sense that if you say that the gold diamond anniversary band was missing, but you're also wearing it on social media, that is going to present a problem.
And also, 2 days prior, you said you were wearing it. But then you call a different insurance company and say,
but why would you do that?
Thinking they could get as much money as possible, maybe. It has to be.
But it doesn't even make sense if it is.
Maybe he thinks they're not communicating, because like I have Travelers, right? So if I were to go out and purchase a separate homeowner's insurance, maybe he thought he was going to get money from both, and just somehow the dots weren't going to connect.
Well, it appears as though there was Home Site.
Okay.
And then there was Jewelers, or either home. Maybe Home Site and Jewelers is like just the one site.
Okay.
Okay. Let me look that up real quick. And then obviously Travelers. So let me look up Home Site and Jewelers real quick, because I just want to be sure about that. Because I'm just trying to understand it myself.
They thought they were going to come up on two different insurance companies. And I just can't believe to go to these lengths to keep up a lifestyle because you want to be on TV, clearly.
So Home Site is its own. It's its own thing.
So then they had jewelry insurance. They had insurance through a jewelry for their jeweler. Then they had Home Site for their home.
Got it.
Which would include the jewelry. And then they had Travelers for their home, which would include the jewelry.
That's three. I mean, that's three. I mean, technically, would that be like three claims?
And I could see picking up a supplemental, like, oh, I have this homeowner's insurance and it covers everything but flood. So let me go purchase flood insurance. But this to come up on something. I would like to know, in all seriousness, whose idea this was. And did they take the trip to Jamaica specifically for this? Or did the bright idea come to them while they were on Jamaica?
So much of it doesn't make any sense. I mean, There is what we're hearing, what we're reading about, there's items that you have purchased and then returned and then are claiming, and then there's the ring, and then the multiple claims of like multiple insurance claims. I mean, just in my mind, I'm like, having a house is a lot. There's a
Ooh,
lot that
child.
goes into it,
Uh,
especially when you get down into the nitty gritty of like home insurance, like how, like
yes.
all of those little things. I'm specifically, I have a real estate license, but I'm still not an expert on
Yeah.
all of those and what you would do in the case of a burglary.
Hmm.
But I think that the thing to make certain of is also here, if you say that you, if you're claiming a ring that you lost, I would assume that you, like, that ring should be never seen again.
Ever. Not months from now, not
Again.
years from now, not. I would be scared to wear it.
But it doesn't. I mean, at that point, you should just get. I mean, like, sell. You should have sold that thing. I mean, if you're gonna do
You could
all
have pawned
this,
it in a different state.
it just doesn't make sense to me. It for
Like,
someone who is, for two people who I feel like are so. I believe that these are smart people. You know, I don't want to see them in this situation. So much of this could have been avoided. I don't know if this is simply a situation where it's we're on a house, we're on a television show. We've got to keep up with the Joneses. We've got to keep up with appearances. We've got to make our lives look as good as possible. I don't know if it's that, but I just don't think it's worth all of this.
and what could potentially cost them time with their family. This could potentially be jail time, depending on their cost him their license, cost Eddie his attorney's license.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I mean, is he even? I don't even. Is he still practicing law?
I don't think he's
Now that he
practicing.
has the business.
But imagine if even if he wasn't practicing, at least if times get hard, baby, I can fall back on my law
Right.
license.
Yeah.
Now, you know, like this is their mama is gonna be mad because she was getting her $500 a month allowance.
Oh
I
my
know she was
God.
livid.
Mom's is going to be livid. And you know what else I was thinking about is that they also have she's also their family is also featured on the new house wife swap show as well.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what
Oh my
family that,
gosh.
she had to go and be with, like what are they going to be thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Coming on my
and the only reason I
homecoming.
say that is yeah, I was saying it. The only reason I was thinking is because I was watching, not to give any spoilers away in case people watch this, but Reasonable Doubt.
Mhm.
There's a scene in the second episode where someone is arrested in Jax's home while the husband is not there, and he's very alarmed, right?
Okay.
Because he was thinking like, well, what kind of person did you have in our home?
Right.
So that's what made me think about this type of this situation.
Yeah.
What is that family now thinking? And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not calling these people, I'm not saying they're bad people or not, but I'm just wondering, I'm walking through the process of everything that they have going on, from Real Housewives of Potomac to the wife swap show. Like, how will this impact them?
Yeah. It's interesting that Potomac filmed earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
And the timing of it all with Sunday's episode coming out, and they're getting all this marble in their living room, and Eddie says, "Where's this money coming from?" And she said, "Happy Eddie is doing well." She makes sure to
She
say
does.
that.
She does.
I feel like I would be so nervous to do something like this. Is a big deal. Like this is like,
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. $500,000. It's a lot of money. Almost $500,000 is a lot of money. And again, is the debt, not saying that there's all different kind of debt, like, student debt, even though I don't think we should have it, at least it's going towards something, hopefully, right? But Is this debt just for what? For show? Are you in debt for the clothes, the shoes, the travel, the lifestyle, thinking you'll either make it up on the back end, which it does make me wonder, how good is the business doing if you felt like you had to do that?
And maybe this was at a point in time before that business really took off.
You know what? That's true, because 2024 and his line didn't start till 2023. So yeah. Could he lose his cannabis license for this?
I don't know. I don't know how that works either. And I just think, was it to put money into the business, because sometimes those, I mean, we could ask Stacy, but sometimes those businesses, because she has the line, Shayo. Sometimes those businesses, sometimes you got to put a lot of money into the business in order for it to do well, because you got to do money for, maybe some type of ads or something like that. I'm just trying to rationalize how two people that I consider super smart, super put together individuals can find themselves in a situation like this. Granted, all of us could find ourselves in dire straits, right?
Yeah.
Debt, the real thing. Well, everybody's feeling it right now in terms of like, just kind of economy and stuff like that. And if you have a house, 9 times out of 10, you in debt too. Okay. Super debt. If you got a house and you went to college. Okay. But somebody said it best. There's a difference between street smart and book smart.
Come on. And thinking that you're smarter than everybody around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're smarter than the people that work jobs that you may think is less than. And I'm not saying Wendy, but sometimes people feel like, oh, these investigators, these little, and you thinking you up here. And again, that's what these people are paid to do. Like, that's their job. Their job. I almost feel like how they say HR isn't for the employees, it's to protect the job, actually. I feel like the same like this. The investigators, they may try to make you feel comfortable. They're really trying to see if you lying, So I mean, the U.S. bankruptcy court wasn't open that you could just get rid of the debt. Like, I mean, you know what I mean?
Or maybe some type of personal loan,
or
like a business loan or something like that. Even though business loans are like, they're kind of iffy because you might have to pay that back per week. But I'm just trying to think of solutions other than this. And I can't fathom. There's so many ways, especially if you have a business, to get money.
Yeah.
There's so many ways.
And you're on you are on a platform that would help you bring in more money. Even if you sold Zen Wen t-shirts, even if you did appearances, like, you're on a huge platform that brings millions of eyes to you. You got a spinoff show. I mean, technically, Wife Swap, that I'm sure is paying you. So, like, there's a multitude of things I feel like maybe you could have done, but sometimes people don't. Like, I said bankruptcy, right? But they know that's going to be public record, so they don't want people to know that they're going. You know what I'm saying? Because there's legal avenues that you could have went through. Like, it's just crazy to me. Like you said, two people, and like they said, there's a difference between book smart and street smart. To me, I know that. I feel like I could be a little bit of both at times, depending. But I feel like I'm smart enough to know if I am book smart, I'm not trying to do street stuff because I ain't got it. So, like, I would think they would be smart enough to know that. Like, to say this is really risky. I don't know. I really would like to know, in all jokes aside, what were they thinking? Did they really think this was their only option?
And maybe they were desperate. Maybe I'm not trying to make an excuse for them. I'm just trying to get into the psychology of it.
Oh yeah.
But I think the thing to remember is because they're also on a show like this, I feel like they probably are going to be scrutinized by those insurance companies a bit heavier. Considering what has occurred with a lot of these, not a lot, but like the Jen Shaws of it all, that was probably reverberating heavily, especially after the Teresa stuff. And so it's just been kind of like down the rabbit hole with those types of things.
Yeah.
And so
do you remember the show Dance Moms?
Yeah.
With Abby Lee? Abby Lee files bankruptcy. The judge is watching TV, recognizes the name. It's the episode where they had gotten paid in cash for the kids performing. And she puts her purse down and cash spills out of her purse. And she says, help me pick this up. And the judge saw it. And that's how. So it's like stuff that you wouldn't even think about. You just filed bankruptcy, which can be a useful tool if you need it, but you're on TV with a pocketbook full of cash.
Yeah.
Like, so I think they think that they are smarter than these systems that are put in place.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, I mean, otherwise maybe TV is not the place.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like that's what Wendy really wants. The fame. I get it, as much as I've liked Wendy, I have gotten that from her, right? Because
Yeah.
you would have to think, after everything that she's gone through on this show, you would think, I'm smarter than this. I ain't get ready. And not saying it in that way, better than, but in her mind, I would, I'm a professor, I'm this, I'm that. I don't have to deal with this. But obviously she wants it,
I mean, just look at the mugshot.
She said, why they matching? They said, all right, we going in. You put your gray on, I'm gonna put my gray on.
Man,
I'm just on the other side of this, if they're not incarcerated or what have you, and there's a new season next season, I would advise Wendy to sit that one out, because if not, you're gonna have to answer some hard. You're gonna have to the answers that you wanted from Karen, the audience and your castmates are gonna want from you.
And you know what? It may be like a situation where, I don't know if this was the case for Teresa, but I would have to wonder if, like, at this point now, you got to keep working to pay.
Oh, you know what?
You know what I'm saying?
True,
like,
true. Because if there's restitution to be paid,
yeah,
and you're able to keep this high paying job, yeah. And we know that Bravo is fond of criminal enterprise on these shows. So, yeah.
I'm looking to see if there's any more updates, but I don't think we have anything updated just yet. But listen, Taria, I just want to say thank you for. I did not want this to be what our conversation was
not
today.
at all. I'm just still shocked. And there was, earlier when we started, somebody in the chat said, "Why are they smiling?" Please understand, no one is here. I've made very clear my distaste of Ashley Darby as a housewife. I wouldn't even want to see her in a situation like this. Absolutely. This is not something they have kids, they have businesses, they had careers. So nobody is wanting to see anybody in this type of situation at all. But we are going to talk about it, because that is what we do, talk about pop culture. And sometimes I know for me, I'll laugh and make a joke to kind of lighten what really is a serious situation. So of course we're hoping the best from them. At the same time, we do have questions. We all have questions. Like, what? Like,
Yeah. I think it's the shock of it all.
Yes.
Like, you don't even know what to, like, where do we start, right?
Where do I even position my face? Almost like how Candy sometimes will have a nervous laugh on
Exactly.
like Atlanta. That's how it's like, or Robin, she was famous for that, like laughing nervously. Like, that's how it's not celebrating. Especially Wendy and Eddie. No matter, like I said, I know people have had their different experiences of Wendy on TV, in person. This is just not good. This is just bad. This is like, if they're already in debt, and then now you are going to have to pay this back. Like, there's a part of me that would like to be, I don't ever want to be a fly. So maybe a really small drone flying through each of the ladies' houses right now, seeing this news. Did she call anybody? Did she talk to anybody on her cast? Like, is this, this is going to be brought up at the reunion. It is.
Oh, of course. 1000%.
I'll be interested to see if Wendy was in the lineup to be on Watch What Happens Live, or if she's on Watch What Happens Live at all this season.
I would imagine that Wendy would be third in line for Watch What Happens Live. So I'm assuming Ashley is probably up next. But, with the way they film Watch What Happens Live, it's not always really live. So they might have already filmed it.
Oh, that's true. Okay, that's true. Yeah. I just, and we know that Wendy knows how to use words. So I will say, I know this is what happens sometimes when things come, depending how you treat people when they're in their situations, because people were wanting Karen to talk. And I know Karen could have handled it a little differently. But what she was basically trying to say was, y'all, I'm scared. This is legal stuff. Some of it I can't get into.
Right.
I'm wondering if that's going to be when Wendy is, if she's doing interviews or press, is that going to be that this is legal? Or at the reunion, this is legal. I can't talk about it. And I can't help but think of her looking at Stacey, turning around and saying, your integrity is forever going to be questioned in this group because she was lying about paying TJ.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. Like, where do you go from here, Wendy?
I would imagine that if I were her attorney, I would tell her not to do any press.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be the smartest play. I would not do any press for this season. And I guess we would have to wait and see. They probably best bet is probably see what happens on November the 7th.
That's what I'm wondering. What exactly is that hearing? Is it for what? To determine if they're going to be okay? Because I'm gonna ask you in the chat. You know how say people is there a difference between being indicted and being charged? Like, are you like because they've been charged, right?
Yeah, from what it looks like.
Okay. So then what would be the next, like what would be the hearing? What would the hearing be about to say if they're going to officially go after them, or is it like a actual case? That's what I'm wondering. What's the next plan? Official charges, or like what is that hearing going to be about?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask like an attorney.
Yeah, yes, we need to find out. We need to, because I need to know if I need to be in Carroll County on November 7th.
Simply Samar says their plea.
Oh, okay. And then from there, they'll determine, okay, going forward. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Okay. Y'all see why I don't do stuff like this, y'all? I have to be Googling.
Okay.
Okay. So then if they were to plead guilty, then this all could be expedited versus not guilty. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're charged first, then okay, got it. Wow, this is so crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm still in shock. I really am.
It'd probably be better at this point to make a plea deal, but that's just I don't know the circumstances. Yeah. I don't know what their intentions are. I'm not, it depends on what their attorneys would say, I'm assuming.
Because one way to play, if they could make a plea where they could stay out of jail, then like you said, she can get to work and be expected. I'm gonna have to talk about this on this platform, but I gotta get my check. Because with charges like this, it could be like if Eddie were to lose his license, whatever. I wonder what the other two I'm gonna have to look up what the other two charges are for Eddie. If he got two more. If he got 18 and she got 16.
Yeah. And I wonder if it was, I guess it depends on who signed the documentation. I really don't know.
Right. And who made the phone call?
Yeah.
Versus who made I'm just still so in shock. Like I seen a comment and somebody said, this is not what I expected when I opened my computer today. I don't think any of us did.
It ain't. I certainly was not. Okay.
Certainly. If it came out of Beverly Hills, I would expect it. Or I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't be shocked.
Surprised.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just keep thinking about their kids. Their kids are old enough, especially the boys, to be on the internet, to know that their parents are everywhere. They have to go to school. So it's like when you make these kind of decisions, sometimes you think you're doing it for the benefit of your family, illegal or not. Because like you said, sometimes you be in dire situations and you be like, I may have to, but their kids are what's going to suffer the consequence,
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part about it. I mean, for me, I don't ever, we don't relish in these things. We don't always know how to respond to it. I think a lot of us shock, I think, is the biggest thing. Like,
Richie, hold on. Somebody just made a comment and that thought was in my head. One of y'all just said those kids were looking at Wendy and Eddie like they were fake. In that scene, I picked that up too. I said, the way that they looking at something just didn't seem, I just kind of felt.
In this new season?
Yeah. In the scene when Eddie was explaining how, y'all, the business is now in 3 different states. And the way the son was like, she's not a doctor. Clearly, he's old enough to know his mom is not a doctor, a medical doctor.
Right.
So I picked up that same thing. I'm sorry I didn't get to see who said that, but that comment caught my eye because I thought the same thing. Like, they looking at them like, would y'all stop putting on for the cameras? That's the feeling that I got from the kids, or at least the boy. I don't know, and I don't know why. And I didn't speak on it when I did my review because I thought it could be just me. So you know how sometimes you catch things and you're like, it probably ain't that, but I legitimately thought that. Not somebody said clankety clank housewives.
You know
what? What did Karen say? Don't drop
the soap. Clankety clank.
It is crazy. This is what, the second housewife on Potomac.
Yeah.
One in New Jersey.
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake. Beverly Hills. Do we count Erica?
I mean, Tom Girardi. I mean, it took up so much space on that show.
Yeah. It's I know I've seen people joke like it could be the Real Housewives of Prison, but at the same time, it's like someone should have a college study course on what a psychologist on psychologically what the upkeep of being on these shows can cost you.
That's the thing, right? And I guess you got to kind of look at what the person does, like on social media and how they present themselves. I take, for instance, somebody like, and she may not be the best example. I really don't know, but I'm going to say somebody like a Giselle, who, by and large, people joke about her fashions, but at the same time, like I think anybody in life can learn this. Sometimes it's better to keep things simple. I'm learning that myself. Like, sometimes it's just better to keep things simple. You don't need that much. Downsize, do it yourself.
Richie, when you said Giselle, that thought hit me. I promise I'm gonna connect it. But the other day I was in Walmart getting wipes and stuff, like this little stuff around the house, right? And they had this really cute cardigan. And I've always been the type, if it's $2 and I like it, get it. If it's $200 and you like it and you got the money, get it. And there was a brief second when I said to myself, oh, people would then know it was from Walmart. And then I said, and I don't care. I can put an outfit together. I like what I like. And even me not being on a level of a housewife, having that thought, I had to really check myself. Like, you've always been who you've been. And when you're confident, you can wear anything. It doesn't matter. And so when you said Giselle, though, the first thing I thought about Wendy's scene and her, we're going to get the marble in the house. And I remember joking on Giselle's house. Like, and I remember specifically people were talking about the outside and the inside, but if she can afford it and she likes it and she knows she can pay for it, that's all that matters. And I'm starting to get to that place in life with things.
Me too.
Like, oh, that's true, Queen. Yes, that's true. Right. Wow. Because somebody mentioned in the chat, if there's restitution, but also attorney's fees, because you're going to have somebody to defend you. So that's all of that too. Like, wow. And it's times like this. Yeah. It's times like this. And y'all let me know, Richie, for you, and even y'all in the chat, if you struggle with, you want people to be held accountable. Yes. And also at the same time, it's like, man, but if they're held accountable in this way, then this gets taken from them. It's like, I struggle with that because I put myself in that position. Like, what if I was in a crazy situation and did something like that and really regretted it from my gut? And it wasn't about appearances. It was about saving my family, saving my life. I would want some grace. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's really hard. It's really hard.
Well, listen, y'all, Taria, thank you so much for tapping in with this. I really appreciate it. I could not have done this without you in any way, shape, or form, and nor would I have wanted to. I needed to process this with somebody. Y'all, I need all 2,900 of y'all to go and follow Taria if you're not already.
Thank
She's
you.
tagged in the title. I'm actually going to, when I get done with this video, I'm going to download the video and I'm going to send it directly to her. And it will also be on her page for you to chop it up, do whatever you want with it, however you see fit. So it will reside here and there for your entertainment or for your edutainment, because hopefully
Yes.
what we do here is a bit, I think, a bit of both, right? We
Yeah.
watch these shows for entertainment. There's often news that we don't necessarily find entertaining,
Yeah.
but we learn something from it.
And I learned from y'all too as well. So thank y'all in the chat for even, for participating in the conversation, for being in the chat, all of that stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To stay true to Richie's true intent, this was about to be Miami. I just need to say one thing. Julia is a farm animal, like the animals on her farm. There you go. We talked about Miami.
Oh, and we will leave it at that. Okay.
That's it.
Julia and her alleged Haitian man at the motel. Okay. We'll leave it at that. All right.
Yes.
Y'all, thank you for tuning in. Again, the trip is in the description of this video. If you're interested in going to Vietnam, I think we got some notifications. I literally had just 2 extra people that just booked. So those early bird spots are going fast. So listen, tap in, y'all, before they are gone. And Taria, I love you as always.
I love
you guys
too.
Follow. I will put all of her information in the description of this video. And I would keep going, but I have to go to an event. And so I need to go get ready for that. But y'all, I love y'all. Subscribe to the channels if you have not done so, to us both. And, we'll come back very, very soon.
Yes.
I'll pop up on her channel and we'll just continue to follow this story. All right. All right, y'all. I will catch y'all later.